Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we are here to do my summer haul. I've got absolutely no idea how many books are here, but there is quite a lot. And I'm not even 100% certain I've got them all. I did start making a list, but every now and then I forgot to update it as I was doing the list. So we're just going to assume that this is everything. But yeah, it's a lot. So let's go through with you exactly what I bought. This is in absolutely no order. It's just what I've dragged off the shelves right now. So we are going to start off with Dead Flip by Sarah Farizan. I did get this for Summerween and didn't end up getting round to it. It is a YA horror in which I think someone gets stuck in an arcade game or something. So I'm really intrigued by this one, and I'm hoping that, albeit it would have been perfect for Summerween, I'm hoping to get to it maybe for the rest of spooky season, September, October, part of November. So we'll see. But yeah, I haven't yet picked this one up and I am intrigued to do so. This cover gives me life. I am obsessed with it. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, that is the first book. Next we do have Does It Hurt by HD Carlton. I've seen this about a lot on Book Talk and I am intrigued by it, so I decided to pick it up. It's a romance, but I believe it's quite a dark romance. I know Gav's read this recently and fucking hated it, if I remember correctly. But other than that, I know absolutely nothing about it and I intend on going into it that way. So I am intrigued to read it though. These are pretty. They're very pretty, but I'm hoping to get to it soon, potentially. Then we do have Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Obviously, this is a romance. It's, I'm assuming going to be a STEM romance. And I am frustrated because Illumicrate, I've been getting the Illumicrate editions of Ali Hazelwood's books and I really wanted the one to match this one, but what annoyed me was the fact that they went ahead and decided to do a cover change on them. So they were doing Love Theoretically with the normal cover, and then they were giving you new dust jackets for Love Theoretically, The Love Hypothesis, and also Love on the Brain, but not Loathe to Love You, which is the short story collection. I understand it might be a bit more difficult to do a dust jacket for that one, but I was just like, I don't need extra dust jackets for the books if they're not all gonna match. That's just annoying. So I didn't want to pay extra for the book and for the dust jackets that I wasn't going to use. Now I'm annoyed with myself for not just doing it, because now I don't have the matching book for the rest of them, which is frustrating. But I just don't understand why they didn't do a book only option and then a book option with the dust jackets. It really annoyed me, and I think that is in general just a cock up from Illumicrate a little bit. If you're going to change the dust jackets, do it straight away when you're releasing the series. Don't do it halfway through. It's as annoying as fucking publishers when they change covers halfway through a series. It's just fucking irritating. Stop doing it. So yeah, I did get this one. I haven't read it yet, but really want to. In fact, the only one I've read from Ali Hazelwood so far is The Love Hypothesis, and I really need to get on that. Then we do have Beyond the Thistles by Samantha Young. This is a darkish romance set in the Scottish Highlands, and I do intend on reading this in September while I'm in Scotland. It is my priority book for Scotland. If you see my September MBR even, you will know that this is on there for reading while I'm in Scotland along with another book. But this is my priority because Samantha Young is actually Scottish, so, or she's from Scotland, and it follows, it's a bodyguard romance, and then Sloane, the woman, the female MC, has run away from her ex with her kid Callie, and she is trying to stay hidden away from her ex-husband, and I think he potentially finds them, and Walker, the bodyguard, you know, a romance. He's trying to save Sloane and Callie, and I'm really excited about it, especially at the fact that it's set in the Scottish Highlands because I friggin' love Scotland. So yeah, very excited about reading this one. Then I do have 2 copies of Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I got the Waterstones exclusive edition. It's not exclusive, it's just signed by the author. And then I did get the Evernight edition as well, which was the first horror book for the Evernight box, which is a subscription box part of Illumicrate, and this is absolutely stunning and I love it. Very, very pretty indeed, and I'm really looking forward to picking this one up hopefully very soon. I did just have a little bit of a downer with one of Silvia Moreno Garcia's books, and I'm a little bit devastated about it, so I'm hoping that these will pick things back up for me. I do have the majority of her books, so there's a lot I still need to get to from her, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, especially on the basis I've got 2 copies now. I had the Waterstones one pre-ordered before I even knew about the Evernight books, never mind the fact that Silver Nitrate was going to be in it. Then, do not question me on this one. There is absolutely no logic as to why I did this, but I've been wanting to read Praise by Sarah Kate for a really long time, and for some reason I've decided not to purchase the books. I was like, oh, they're on Kindle Unlimited. I really need to stop spending money on indie books when they're on Kindle Unlimited and I can read them on there. And now I regret my decision because they've been picked up by a publisher. Congratulations to Sarah Kate for that. But what annoys me is that they're starting to go down the discreet cover route, and I fucking hate the new covers. They're awful. So in a blind panic one day on a live show, I ended up purchasing, I think this is book 3 and 5 in the series. Honestly, it was for him. He is the problem. He's the reason why I did this. I mean, he's pretty, but he is handsome. You know what I'm saying? He's handsome, and I needed him. So now I'm mad because I don't have books 1, 2 or 4, if I am remembering correctly what order these books go in. So now I'm mad that I don't have the rest in the original covers. I'm really, really mad about it. I'm not going to lie. And there's no way I'm purchasing the new covers. I have mentioned this several times now in several videos, but I'm going to continue mentioning it. But I wish publishers would give us the heads up when a book's being picked up by a publisher so that we can go ahead and make the decision whether or not to purchase the indie covers or whether to wait for the new covers to come out. Because if they gave us 6 to 12 months in advance, I would have snapped the whole series up. As it is, this was all that was left as far as the indie covers were concerned. So I got Highest Bidder and Give Me More. And now I'm pissed because I can't find the rest anywhere. So if anyone knows anyone that's getting rid of the rest of the series with the original covers for a reasonable price, please let me know. I'm mad. I'm mad about it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I did it. Well, I do know why I did it. I wanted the Silver Fox. That's it. That's why I did it. Okay, then we have Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Oshimi, which I did read for Gavin Recommends Me manga video. Leave a link to it up here if you haven't checked it out yet. I would recommend doing so. You will end up adding a boatload of manga to your TBR. That's all I'm saying. This was good. I gave it, I think it was 3 stars, but I was very intrigued and I do want to continue on with the series. It's a very weird book. Almost nothing happens and then you're left with a horrific cliffhanger. So I need the second one. Then I did also, that's upside down, in that video I did read Monster Volume 1. We are following this guy called Kenzo, who is a doctor, he's a surgeon, and then one day he ends up coming across this serial killer essentially, and he's trying to figure out who this serial killer is, whilst also, let me just check. Yeah, while also trying to find the serial killer's twin sister as well. And it's really interesting, not what I was expecting. I didn't read the back of this before I went into it. I can't remember if I did anyway, but I was totally expecting this to be like monster-esque, you know, like fantasy monster-esque. Wasn't quite the road I was expecting to go down. Really enjoyed it, gave it 4 stars, would recommend. Then I did get None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Thank you to Tandem and also Penguin for sending me this one. I did take part in a little bit of a trickery advertisement for this. There is a podcast element to this. It's a thriller. There's a podcast element to it, and I did a video, I'll link it up here if you do want to check it out, please do so, in which I tell you what my favourite thrillers of the year had been up until that point. But I also go on about the fact that I love a podcast element in my thrillers, and the fact that I've been listening to a new podcast called Hi, I'm Your Birthday Twin. It's actually a podcast that's in this book, and Tandem ended up producing an entire podcast for it with some clips from the podcast, and I think there's going to be a Netflix series as well, which is absolutely fascinating. I have read this one since. I would recommend the audiobook. It's absolutely brilliant. We're following two people, Alex and also Josie, and they end up bumping into each other on a night out in which they're both celebrating their 45th birthday, and they end up becoming birthday twins. And Alex is a podcaster, and Josie ends up convincing Alex to do a podcast on her because Josie's telling her that she's in a position where she wants to start changing her life and turning things around. She feels like she's gotten quite stilted and all of this lot, and they move forward with this podcast, but all is not as it seems. From episode 1, Josie's life is very, very dark, and you find yourself going through this book not sure who to trust and what to believe with what you're being told, and the twists and turns right up until the last page, and it was absolutely fantastic. I gave this 4.5 stars. It was so good. Would recommend the audiobook, especially with the podcast element, because it was done very, very well. The production of it was fantastic. Then I did get Love Lights Farm by B.K. Borison. This is a small town Christmassy romance. A handsome freckled data analyst, a messy optimistic Christmas tree farm owner, a small town with the best hazelnut lattes on the East Coast. I'm really excited about reading this during festive season because the cover of this is absolutely adorable, but I just love me a good festive book, so I'm very excited about that one. Then we do have You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. This I got because of the sprayed edges more than anything, but also it's a YA slasher, and I do seem to enjoy myself. Of all the YA books that I now still currently read, because I don't read a lot anymore, YA slashers are my favourite, I think. So this one is set at Camp Mirror Lake, and terror is the name of the game, but can you survive the night? Following Charity Curtis, who I think goes to play a final girl at Camp Mirror Lake, in this sort of like recreation type thing. So she's gone to play final girl, but not all is as it seems, and I think people actually start being killed, and she's, you know, fighting for her life. So very excited about this one. Not too long. Really looking forward to picking this up during spooky season. Then I do have 0 Days by Ruth Ware. I really enjoy Ruth Ware's books. I don't think I've ever given anything past a 4 stars, but I do enjoy her books, and I'm really intrigued about this one. I say that, I know absolutely nothing about it. It's just because it's Ruth Ware. Adrenaline fueled thriller about a woman in a race against time to clear her name and find her husband's killer. Sign me up. It's not too long. Sounds great. Yes, please. Then I do have In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros. I read Fourth Wing and decided I wanted to try and start going back through Rebecca Yarros's backlist because I know that Fourth Wing is not her debut book. She's done some other stuff, and in fact, she's done a lot. A lot. So I wanted to go back through, and this is one that I am really intrigued about. This is following 2 people. Izzy Aster gets on a plane to go home. She isn't expecting much. It's the usual holiday travel experience, busy, crowded, stressful. Then she spots her seatmate, who is anything but ordinary. Nate sports dark hair, blue eyes, and deliciously rugged charm that Izzy can't resist. Their connection is undeniable. Izzy never believed in destiny before, but she does now. Just 90 seconds after takeoff, their plane goes down in Missouri River. Their lives change, they change. Nate goes on to a career in the military, while Izzy finds her way into politics. Despite a few chance encounters over the year, their timing never feels right. Then comes a high-stakes reunion in Afghan, where Nate is tasked with protecting Izzy's life. Yes, please sign me up. Very excited. In fact, I haven't read the synopsis of that before. I picked it up solely on the basis that it's Rebecca Yarros. Also, this cover is really pretty. That makes me even more excited and has bumped it up my TBR, I'm not gonna lie. Then we do have Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffin. I love the nature of witches. It was my favourite book of 2019. I think it was 2019. And I haven't yet read Wild is the Witch. It's my priority to read that this year through spooky season. So it was important to me that I got her latest one. And I actually, again, don't know much about this one, but I just needed to show you underneath the dust jacket as well. Because her books are always so freaking pretty under the dust jacket, and I don't mind paying extra. I mean, it comes out before the paperback anyway, but I don't mind paying extra for the hardbacks solely on that basis. I usually buy 2 of these, but I only got 1 this time because I annotate them because they're so pretty. But yeah, This one is a lush romantic fantasy about forbidden love, the choices we make, and the pull between duty and desire. Really pretty, very excited. My camera battery is already flashing and we're not even halfway through this list yet. Good start. Then I did end up with 2 copies of the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Brandon Sanderson. Now this was pure accident and you're not going to believe how this happened. So I got 2 parcels through the door one day and I was like, oh, that's strange, I'm not expecting anything from Amazon. I got this one gifted to me by Danny Stimpson. I spotted this in Waterstones, nearly picked it up. Didn't, because I was really shocked because I wasn't expecting anything new released from Brandon Sanderson. Didn't even think about the fact that he's got his secret projects and he's currently releasing them. So didn't pick it up, put it on my wish list. Danny sent me this. Not 2 minutes later, I then opened a second parcel that came through and the publishers had sent me a copy. So thank you to Galance for sending me one of these and to Danny for sending me the other. I really appreciate it. I did know I was on Galance's radar because I've got a couple of books from them before, but I wasn't expecting this in the slightest, otherwise I wouldn't have put it on my wish list. But Danny, I do appreciate it. Your book will not go to waste. I'm going to give the second one to Jade because I did mention it to her and I said, well, I'm not going to, you know, tell Danny to send one back. I'll keep Danny's and I will give Jade the publishers. So yeah, and I know which is which because Danny's has got her note in it and this one has a couple bookmarks from the publisher. So I'm going to give the publisher one to Jade and it won't go to waste. But thank you very much, Danny, and also Galance for sending me those. Very excited to pick that one up. I think I'm going to read Tress of the Emerald Sea first because I didn't realise that was part of the Secret Project series. Also, why do none of the covers match? And the Yumi one is disgusting for the UK, just FYI. I think the Yumi one in the US is much prettier. Then I did get The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which is a new thriller from Riley Sager. I really enjoy Riley Sager's books, except from The House at the end of the lake, the house across the lake. Hated that one. Biggest disappointment of last year. This one is following Leora Hope. Everyone believes she's a mass murderer and she killed her entire family years and years ago. But then we are also following our main character, who is called, I can't remember her name. She's going to go and look after Leora in the house where the mass murder happened. Leora doesn't communicate with people in the slightest. She can't speak. She's been mute ever since it happened. And she feels like she can trust this woman, so she starts to communicate with her typewriter, and I'm really intrigued by it. I did start it, I haven't continued on with it. I need to do so. I got 62 pages in, and annoyingly enough, considering I own a bookmark shop, I'm using the dust jacket as a bookmark, which pisses me right off, never mind you. Then I did get Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. I did read Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney this year. Absolutely loved it. It went on that thriller video that I was just banging on about with None of This Is True. And I need more from her. So we're following, I think, 3 different women in this one. 20 years after a baby is stolen, a woman is murdered in a care home. 2 crimes are somehow linked, and a good bad girl may be the key to discovering everything. So we're following Edith, who is an 80 years young patient in the care home. We're following Patience, who works there, and we're following Edith's daughter Cleo. And it's all got something to do with this missing baby. And I'm really looking forward to picking it up because I really did love Daisy Darker. Loved it. Okay, my battery did in fact die, and I've just gone and shoved, you'll spot Riley Sager right there. I've just gone and shoved some of those books back on the shelves so that it takes me half the time to tidy up later. I don't know, it made sense in my head. Anyway, I was about to say, then I did get Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister. I did read Wrong Place, Wrong Time earlier on this year. Absolutely loved it. Smashed the 5 stars like Daisy Darker did. And I then immediately wanted to read everything Gillian McAllister's ever done, which I think, oh, okay, it's not too much of a long list. I did get in a charity shop One Side Red, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, this one. So I'm probably going to give that a bash at some point, but I did pick this one up. This is her latest release and I'm really excited about it. It's following Olivia, 22 years old, no history of running away, last seen on CCTV, entering a dead end alley and not coming back out again, missing for 1 day and counting. Sign me up. Can you tell I've been in a proper thriller mood recently? Then I do have Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk, which was a pre-order. I pre-order all of Lindsay Kelk's books because I love her writing style. As the years go on, Lindsay Kelk was one of the first authors for me that ever got me to like properly binge a series or binge some books. And other than Twilight when I was like 18, but Lindsay Kelk was it for me and I really loved her books. I think when I go back and read them now, I still enjoy them because of the nostalgia, but I think the writing is way more like women's fic, if you like lit fic type writing, as opposed to like just pure romance, but I still enjoy them nonetheless. This one, following a greeting card copywriter, Phoebe Chapman, knows a good romantic line or two and it makes her a fantastic cupid. So when she lands in the Hollywood Hills, a place that provides film stars, golden beaches and secret waterfalls don't just exist in the movies, she can't resist playing matchmaker for her handsome neighbour, carpenter Ren. Sounds really good, and I'm intrigued by this one for sure. Then I did get The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. I have also ended up with the Illumicrate version of this one as well, and the Soulmate Equation, because I really enjoyed the Soulmate Equation. This says they're crafting the perfect Hollywood romance for the screen, but the chemistry behind the camera might be the real story. I'm really excited about this one, so I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. Then the second stack, which is very wobbly right now and I'm concerned it's going to come down. So we do have Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. This I've seen on TikTok and I was looking for some BookTok books for a video that I still am yet to do. So this is for that one. For years I've dreamt of what college life could bring, and while some things changed, there was always one consistent. It didn't matter how wild I allowed my imagination to run, my future was clear and he was it. Until suddenly he wasn't. Now there's a new man in my life, one who isn't afraid to go after what he wants, and what he wants is me. College romance, American football, sports romance, sign me up. Chunky though, chunky for a romance. Unnecessary, over 500 pages. Don't get it, don't get it. Then we have Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi. I think that's how you pronounce the name. I do apologise. This was sent to me by the publisher, Orbit, and I was really shocked because I didn't know I was on Orbit's radar, but I'm really excited about it. St. Vincent's Orphanage for Boys, turn of the century in a remote valley in Pennsylvania. I believe that this is following Peter Barlow. He's currently living in an orphanage under the watchful eye of several priests. 30 boys work, learn and worship. Orphaned as a child by a gruesome murderer, Peter has made a new life here. As he approaches adulthood, his friends, a future, a family. Then late one stormy night, a group of men arrive at the door, one of whom is badly wounded, occult symbols carved into his flesh. His death releases an ancient evil that spreads like sickness, infecting St. Vincent's and the children within. Soon boys begin acting differently, forming groups, taking sides. Others turn up dead. Now Peter and those dear to him must choose the side of their own, each of them knowing their lives and perhaps their eternal souls are at risk. Sounds fascinating, and I do want to get to this one soon. I think October's around the corner and it'll be perfect for that. Then I do have the Fairy edition of Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I have read this one and I absolutely love it, and I'm so eagerly anticipating Bookshops and Bone Dust. I cannot wait. So we do have black sprayed edges at the top and bottom. Down the side we have this gorgeous array of colour. I just think is absolutely stunning. And then underneath the dust jacket we do have the original cover from the indie book, and we also have a brew and a croissant and I'm very, very excited to have this edition. I now have 3 copies of this book, which is, you know, maybe ever so slightly unnecessary. I have the original indie published one, which I'm so excited I got a copy of. And then I also have, it's also signed by Travis too, I also have the, like, when it released with a new cover, which is essentially this but in colour, and then I got the Fairy Loot one as well. I wasn't missing out on that bad boy. Then I do have The Witch and the Tsar by Alessia Salnikova Gilmore. I was gifted this one by Claire. Thank you so much, Claire, for sending me this one. I know that Jade and a few of her patrons were buddy reading this recently, and well, not recently, a few months ago now, and I really wanted then a copy, so I added it to my wish list, and Claire did send me a copy. Don't tell me off, but hopefully this cheers you up. Have heard such good things about it and I hope you love it. Lots of love from Claire. Thank you, Claire. Yaga lives deep in the Russian forest, tending to any that call upon her for healing potions and vast wisdom. So it's going to be filled with Slavic folklore and legends and Baba Yaga and all of that good stuff, and I'm very excited about it. And I think I'm going to save this one for like winter season because I think it's perfect for that season. Then I do have another round of 2 copies, and this time it is with The River of Silver by Shannon Chakraborty. This is the collection of short stories that goes along with the David trilogy, and I did get a copy from, is it from Waterstones or is it just an Amazon one? I think it's just an Amazon one. I did get a normal copy, and then it went in the Fairy Trove on Fairy Loot, and I did end up getting the Fairy Loot copy. Now, my editions of the David Bad trilogy are just normal hardbacks, but I am holding out hope that I may eventually get my hands on the Fairy Loot set, because I'm absolutely heartbroken I missed out on it. By some miracle, I got my hands on, I think it's the Illumicrate set of the Poppy War, because I was mentioning it in a video one day and someone messaged me and said that they need to get rid of their set, and they would happily send it to me, and I was absolutely blown away. So I'm hoping, I've got my fingers crossed that by some miracle at some point I will be able to get the trilogy for the David Bad trilogy for a reasonable price. Fingers crossed. This has grey on top and bottom, and then this gorgeous kind of like design. Hello. Design on the end. And then I knew it would do that. It's just gonna, there we go. It is signed by Shannon as well, and then underneath the dust jacket we do have some gorgeous artwork as well. So I haven't read this one yet. I do need to do so, but it's because it's short stories. I'm always hesitant about short stories, but I wanted it to complete the collection. So this is me putting it out into the universe that I might get a normal, I might get the Fairy Loot set at some point. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed, eh? Then I did, this is a very recent purchase actually, with another one that's a little bit later on down the pile, but I did get We Don't Swim Here by Vincent Tirado. I have never heard of this before, but it sounds really, really good. She's the reason no one goes in the water, and she will make them pay. Anais knows the rules, keep everyone in the Hillwoods safe. Her cousin is intent on breaking them. It is a thriller, a YA thriller, and I'm really, or horror maybe. Righteous revenge and horrors of the past collide with chlorine and small town secrets in this riveting thriller. Yeah, it is a thriller. And I'm really looking forward to potentially getting to this one. It feels like a summer thriller, so I don't know when I'm going to pick it up, but I am interested by it. Have never heard it before, and I just thought the cover was like really pretty. So yeah, spotted it in Waterstones the other day and decided to pick it up. Then I do have The Housemaid and also The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. I've read The Housemaid but not yet The Housemaid's Secret, and I do want to get to it very soon. This one follows a woman called Millie. She ends up working for a very rich woman called Nina Winchester, and she works as a live-in housemaid. She's really struggling. She's done some time in prison and she's come out of prison and she's got nowhere to live. She's living in the back of a car, working as many jobs as she possibly can till this opportunity comes. She ends up working as a live-in housemaid, and things start going really weird. Nina treats her very badly after treating her so well in the interview, and things start getting very bizarre, not as all as it seems, and it's so fascinating. The twists and everything were really good. I gave this 4 stars, so I'm very much so looking forward to continuing on with this one. I don't know if this one continues to follow Millie and it's just another client or what, but maybe not. So I'm intrigued to continue on with the series. Really did enjoy Frida McFadden's writing style, and I'm intrigued to read more from her indeed. Then I have a rather annoying purchase here. I did get The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I owned the UK cover of this one, but I prefer the US, so I spotted it in Waterstones, picked it up. I've read this one, gave it 4 stars, enjoyed it. Think Knives Out. If you've watched that, you'll enjoy this. If you've read this, watch that movie if you haven't done so. It's very, very good. I then did order The Hawthorne Legacy from Waterstones and The Final Gambit in the same order. Does anyone else see the problem here? Because this is the US cover and this is the UK one. And in what world did someone in Waterstones go, this is a great idea? Really? Clearly didn't understand the assignment. I get it if you didn't have any of the US covers, but just send me a quick note and ask me. I'm a book collector. This doesn't work for me, guys. Little bit annoyed, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to try and take this back to Waterstones and see if I can hunt down a copy of the US cover. In fact, no, I'm telling a lie. I've ordered one off of eBay and I'm really hoping it's the US cover when it turns up, because I'm getting really pissed off with seeing the US cover everywhere and receiving the UK one. It's annoying. If it's the UK cover, put the UK cover on it, which is exactly what Waterstones did. It was the US cover, so I ordered it. I was like, great, Waterstones have got the US cover. No, they haven't. False advertisement, Waterstones. Really pissed off. Enjoying the series though. But that really annoyed me. I was so disappointed when it came. So yeah, I need to sort that out because that's annoyed me. Don't ever do that again, Waterstones, please. Thank you. Then we do have Spire by Jamie Littler, which is the latest in Jamie Littler's releases. I loved the Frostheart series, so it was important for me to get this one. Also, he's done the really fancy sprayed edges as well on the side like he did with the Frostheart series. So it just made sense for me to continue buying the really fancy ones. I don't know anything about this one. Magic Mayhem Misfits Welcome to Spire. The extraordinary new adventure from the best-selling author of Frostheart is middle grade, but I'm very excited. They're always heavily illustrated and I really enjoy middle grade with quite heavy illustrations, so I'm looking forward to reading that one at some point. Then I do have With Love from Cold World by Alicia Thompson, who is the author of Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I do own that book, haven't yet read it, but the cover of this one was just speaking to me, so I picked it up. I don't know what this is about. Lauren Fox is the bookkeeper for Cold World, a tourist destination that's always a winter wonderland despite being located in humid Orlando, Florida. Sure, it's ranked way below the amusement parks and maybe foot traffic could be better, but it's a fun place to work even if fun isn't exactly Lauren's middle name. Her co-worker, Asa, on the other hand, is all about finding ways to enliven his day at Cold World, whether that means organising the Secret Santa or teasing Lauren. When their boss asks Lauren and Asa to draft a proposal for raising more money for the venue, their rivalry heats up as they compete to come up with the best idea, but the situation is more dire than they thought. It might take these polar opposites working together to save the day. Fascinating. It's got a bookstore in it, so yeah, sign me up. Then I did get Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake by Maisie Eddins. I've got a video coming soon featuring this book, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't want to tell you the backstory of how I ended up with this book, so I'm just going to tell you that I've got it and you will see in the video the backstory of how I got it. But this one says chaotic, messy and madly in love. I have started it. And I picked this one up because it's got ADHD representation in it and I'm really excited. It's a romance. We're following Lizzie, who just wants one night stands. We're following Rake, who's an Australian. He's given up on relationships. He's going back to Australia soon. They have a one night stand. It then becomes a 2-night stand, and things start to change between the two of them. And I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this one. I actually started it last night, and on page 1 decided I was gonna annotate the book. So you can see how that's going. Then I was gifted Olive Branch by Hannah J. Hannah actually sent me this book herself. She sent me a quick message online to say would I be interested in reviewing the book. I haven't yet gotten around to it, but I am determined to do so. She does have the first in a series as well called Same Page, and I would like to read that one first. But these are romances, I believe, and they kind of, I think, are companion novels, if you like, so you don't need to read Same Page to read Olive Branch, but I am intrigued to read them in order. So this is Olive Cooper, who has come to terms with her infertility, but dating is proving hard. The only man she's interested in now is fictional detective Hercule Poirot. She's certainly not interested in her cocky, work-shy bookshop co-worker Fraser. With his effortless charm and knicker-dropping grin, he has everyone eaten out of the palm of his hand except Olive. The only reason Olive would take her knickers off in his presence would be to strangle him with them. I'm already obsessed with this just from that first section. I'm not going to read it all because it does go on a little bit, but I'm really excited about this one, and also bookshop again. So if you're interested in something like that, do go and check this out, please, and support a very small indie author. But Hannah's absolutely lovely and I adore her, so yeah, please do go and support her if you're interested in that one. You can get it on Amazon. It's also on Kindle Unlimited, so either way it supports her. Then I did pick up In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer. I picked this up solely on the basis that it says New York on it, and I'm really excited. The world thinks they're destined to be together, too bad they can't stand each other. There is a situation in which Franny and also Hayes bump into each other on the train. The doors accidentally rip Franny's dress apart, and she ends up showing her undergarments to everybody on the tube, and she's very close to showing her entire hoo-ha to everybody on the tube until Hayes covers her up with his jacket. And then it's all kind of filmed and it goes viral on the internet of this meet cute, and then fate seems to have other ideas for them and has them meeting each other regularly, but they're very polar opposites, and I'm really excited to give this one a bash, because if you know me, I love New York City and I love me a good meet cute, so very excited for that one. Then I did also get Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This one is following on from When in Rome, I believe, which I haven't read yet, and I do need to know whether or not I should probably read that one before I read this one. We're following florist Annie Walker and also sexy and tattooed Will Griffin, who they end up going to Annie's brother's wedding, which I think is When in Rome, the characters from When in Rome, and they have to work together. And I'm really intrigued about it, so I'm very excited about that one. Then I do have Flawless, Heartless and Powerless. I've read Flawless so far by Elsie Silver. Really enjoyed it, gave it 4 stars, it was fantastic. These are cowboy romances. I think they're all cowboy romances, I'm assuming they are anyway, with a different twist. So this one is the rules were simple, keep my hands off his daughter, but now I'm stuck with her. There's only one bed and, well, rules are made to be broken. So this is following a bull rider, and his agent's daughter ends up babysitting him because he keeps getting himself in trouble, and they end up falling for each other. That's that one. Then Heartless is a nanny single dad relationship, and I'm really excited about this one. I've heard fantastic things. Working as a nanny for the world's grumpiest single dad should have been simple, except I can't keep my eyes off him and he can't keep his hands off me. Sign me up. I need to pick it up soon. And then Powerless, I know nothing about. 2 childhood best friends, 2 broken hearts, 1 impromptu road trip to get away from everything. Friends to lovers, my favorite trope aside from fake dating. And I really want to get myself the 4th one, which I think is called Reckless, and then Hopeless comes out soon as well. So I do need to get those as well. I've just been collecting them slowly but surely. We're on the last stretch, the home stretch. I've got Beach Rivals by Georgie Tilney. It says for fans of Emily Henry, and I am very much an Emily Henry fan. Struggles. One bookshop in paradise, two bitter rivals, a whole summer to get through. I'm loving these bookshop books. Escape to Bali with this year's most feel-good rom-com. I picked this up at a time where I was just starting off my Trova trip work, and I had Bali in mind as a trip. Until the votes came in for New York. I had Bali in mind for a trip, so I picked it up for that reason. This is literally, and the Emily Henry reference and the fact it looks like an Emily Henry book, but that's honestly the only reason. Perfect for fans of Emily Henry, Beach Rivals is a slow burn, enemies to lovers rom-com that will sweep you off your feet. Sounds great. We're coming out of summer now though. I just want to read autumn books now, spooky season books. Then I did get The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This was also gifted to me from Claire. To Steph, wanted to send you a little something to celebrate your new library. Thank you so much, Claire. You are an angel. This looks really good and I love the cover. Enjoy the book, lovely. I've had my eye on this for a really long time since it was done in Book of the Month. Probably over a year ago, if not longer. And I've had my eye on it ever since. The hardback was so expensive to get in the UK, so I was waiting for it to come out in paperback and it took so long. So she is the Bodyguard and I'm really excited. I'm really getting myself into bodyguard romances, and the fact that the roles are switched in this one has got me really worked up, and I'm really excited about picking this one up. So very hyped for that. Then I did get the Nitrate edition of Nimona by N.D. Stevenson. I've listened to the audiobook of this on Script, but I haven't consumed it with my eyes before in graphic novel format, so I wanted to get a copy of this. It's very heavy. This is like the second book I've gotten from Nitrate recently that's incredibly heavy. Underneath the dust jacket is beautiful though. This is a fantasy series following Nimona, who's an impulsive young shapeshifter with a knack for villainy. We've got Lord Ballister Blackheart is a villain with a vendetta, and there's explosions will be involved, science and sharks will be too. And it's just really good. It's a great time. I really enjoyed the audiobook, so I am looking forward to giving this one a read with my eyes physically at some point as well. I do wonder if the audiobook follows it fully or whether it became like a properly narrated story, but I'm intrigued to potentially try that combo as well, because I've never done that before. It's not a normal thing that you will be able to do with a graphic novel and an audiobook, so yeah. And then I did get Empty Smiles, this is the last one, by Catherine Arden. This cover terrifies me, I'm not gonna lie. I've been waiting for this to come out in paperback for over a year now. This came out over a year ago in hardback. There is no sign of it coming out in paperback, and I own the other 3 in paperback. So I'm really fucking annoyed. But I have read this. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. The rest of the series was a 4-star series for me, but I ended up giving it 3 stars. I was a little bit disappointed. This series does start off with Small Spaces. This is the 4th in the quartet, and we're following Ollie, Coco, Brian and Phil. And in the first one, they're on a school trip, they're on the school bus, and they start being stalked by I think it's like a scarecrow, if I remember correctly. They start being stalked by like this scarecrow. The second one is ghosts. The third one I think is like mermaids. And then this one is clowns. And it's by this guy called the Smiling Man, and he can kind of take on like different, you know, scary things. I'm terrified of clowns. There was a portion in this book where they were being stalked by the clowns, and I was so terrified. I was ready to just put the book down and be done with the series. So as far as atmosphere is concerned, 10 out of 10, absolutely fantastic for the whole series. But in general, I feel like this was very rushed, considering it's the end of the book. It was at the end of the series. It was very, very rushed, and I was really disappointed in it. So yeah. That's what happened with that one, and that is the final book for this haul. That was a really long haul. I've got no idea how many books it was, but it was a really big haul. But that is like my summer haul. I haven't done a big haul like this unless it's been unboxings for a while. You may have seen some of these books before. I can't remember, and I've tried to go through my shelves and take off everything that I've gotten recently. Again, I might have missed some things, or you might have already seen some things. I do apologise. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I got this summer as far as books is concerned. So yeah, chat to me in the comments down below. Do you prefer for me to do this seasonal like this, so like one every 3 months, or do you prefer it when I do monthly hauls? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really intrigued to know. And let me know if you've read any of these, or if you are now thinking of adding any to your TBR because of this haul. Chat to me in the comments down below, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.